my non-executive experience, I think, has been critical to how I think about my executive role and indeed how I engage as an executive with our board in Coillte. What I've learned more than anything is that non-executives bring immense experience and a wealth of experience, and I would say more so when they have quite an amount of executive experience themselves. And executives need to really lean in and benefit from non-executive experience and indeed be willing to hear the tough questions, not be defensive about them, be willing to answer them, to take those questions away and really think about how those questions should influence the thinking for an organisation. That's absolutely fundamental to me as a key point. The second thing I would say in terms of non-exec experience is that I think about my executive role, and I know that the board in Coillte and many of the board are here this evening. The board have a remit. There's a set of responsibilities that are reserved for the board. And then there's a set of responsibilities for the executive. And in an organisation like Coillte, when you have 7% of Ireland's land under management, there are going to be things somewhere in that kind of grey space. And what's absolutely clear is that you keep the board briefed, you keep the chair briefed between meetings and the board, but anything that's in that we're not absolutely sure space, always lean in and engage with the board and make sure everybody's clear and everyone's happy with how matters like that are being dealt with. And the third thing, particularly when somebody perhaps goes into a board on one occasion, they'll often leave a board meeting and might ask, why is the board asking that question? I mean, it's not really, they don't really need to know that. But being a non-exec myself, I'm really able to, I believe, articulate well, look, that's important because a board holds ultimate responsibility. And ultimately, that means that we should be comfortable to answer anything for the board. And in a state organisation, we always have to be able to answer the why we do what we do for our board, but also for stakeholders generally. So a non-executive role takes work, but it brings, I think, an immense lens from a leadership point of view that's hugely helpful. And I would really also like to take the opportunity just to acknowledge the amount of work that non-execs, for instance, on Coillte do. It's hugely important and much appreciated.